Hey guys, Steve here. Before we start the episode, just wanted to let you know we're going to be changing up the Debuff format. Still going to be talking about games, but it's going to be more discussion based. It'll be myself, my brother Sean Skeels, and our friend Mason Carlton, who you know is the editor. We'll be talking about video games, the gaming industry, internet culture, and pretty much whatever else comes to mind. Hope you guys enjoy the episode. From Rixie, this is Debuff, and I'm your host, Steve Skeels.
Yeah, just explain to the people the change in scenery.
All right, we rebranded Debuff here. Still going to talk about games, but I think every week we're going to try to get together and each bring at least one topic, or, well, we'll see how it goes. Maybe if we got one we want to talk about the whole time, but try to keep it maybe a little longer than some of the typical Debuff episodes we were doing before. And just the three of us discuss, so still me, Steve Skeels.
Yeah, so the old format is like 15 minutes, all about news, and a little bit of your opinion. And I noticed, I was like, I really want to get more discussion-based stuff, because I think the conversations that we have like every week, and we've been having since, I don't know, the 15th, like this should be Debuff, because it's like 80% of the time about gaming. I was like, let's do it. I mean, for the listeners who don't know, we're literally neighbors, so it's not like a big issue to come record. We have this studio. We're all, like, for the most part, closed off from the world. Like, we're quarantined. That's perfect timing for the cough. So just to let people know, from now on, it's going to be Steve Skeels, Sean Skeels, his brother, and myself, Mason. So I think we should start talking about Among Us right away.
Yeah. I guess pretty much Sean was the one that kind of got us to play. Everyone has seen it, obviously. It's nothing new, but over the week or so, we all had off hanging out, started playing Among Us towards the end there, and it's a lot of fun.
Why did you bring it up in the party setting when we were together?
Well, I mean, so it started, I started playing a couple months back. I was with a couple of friends, and we were all kind of just sitting around, and one of the guys was like, I keep seeing people play this game, and I had played it prior to that with people on Discord, and I mean, that's fun and all, but I feel like it's more fun if you're sitting around with a group of friends, because that's what I experienced then. It was just me and a couple other people playing together, and my daughter was there. She's 9, and she loves that game, so it's like something that the whole squad can play,
Yeah, I mean,
all the crewmates can play.
I've always seen it, and I've always, you see all the, I mean, when was it? That's a question I have. When did it pop off? Because I remember seeing a timeline of like some rando streamer, or actually not a rando streamer, but like somebody prominently in the Twitch scene played it, and then
it just exploded.
Kept playing it. Like some other people started playing it, and then it was, because I mean, I think one of you said it's like a year or two old, the game itself.
Yeah, it came out in 2018.
I was going to say, I think it's 2 years. And I think they had said they were trying to do Among Us 2, but they scrapped the idea because once it blew up, they were just like, all right, well, we'll just make this one better.
I saw, I think it was a tweet, or even like a trending page tweet of like, we were gonna do Among Us 2 and we were working on it, but with the rise in popularity, there's no reason to make a second game. Was it like summer?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was around summertime. I mean, it was fairly early into like the pandemic lockdown in America. I mean, it was definitely after. I feel like we were still playing Animal Crossing, and I was hearing about it, and I never really got pulled away from Animal Crossing.
Yeah, I feel like the year was like bookended by like Animal Crossing. Was Fall Guys before Among Us?
I can't remember that. I feel like it was a very similar time.
But it was like
period.
These like 3 games had these massive years.
Yeah.
And I had not played Among Us at all until I played it once on my phone with my coworkers during like, I think August or September. But then before like a week ago, I had not played since then, like one game.
I don't know. Part of why it got popular and why it's fun to just get everyone to play is, well, one, it's free on phones, so you can all just get it, right? But also it's so easy to figure out. I mean, there's a couple things where if it's not explained to you, like sabotaging stuff isn't hard to do, but if you have no idea what it does, right? Like if you don't read a tutorial and no one tells you, but the whole game is like a couple clicks, right? All the tasks are so simple.
Well, and they just ported it to Switch as well.
Yeah.
Which is huge
Yeah.
because a ton of people have Switches, and I personally like it better on the Switch.
Yeah, than phone for sure.
Like I hate the touch screen, like D-pad.
I didn't play it on my phone until that time I went and at that party where we would all just be quiet when the game was on, and so I downloaded it on my phone then, and I didn't enjoy it. I had it for PC first, and
Yeah.
that's how I played it with the Discord guys. And I think that's part of the reason why I blew up so much was because, like, we're all trapped at home. Everyone has a device they can, play this game on.
It's not graphically intensive.
No, not at all. It looks
like
honestly look like a Flash game.
Yeah,
dude.
it looks like a Flash game, which
Yeah.
like is another like topic. Like as far as gaming is concerned, Flash has been dead for 4 days now.
Yeah.
Yeah, the good old days.
Good
recording
riddance.
this on the 4th of January. The Flash is officially dead, which I feel like I've been getting like emails and like pop-ups on desktop like, hey, it's gonna go, like make sure you uninstall, like
For like 6 years, dude.
Yeah.
I was like, we were on Windows 7, I think, at my last company when they had announced that Flash was going to die. And there's still websites out there that I don't know if they've updated to HTML5 or something else. Like,
I'm worried about going and playing games on like websites. Like I have like 3 games that I really like. I like this game called Big Head Soccer, which is just like, it's kind of like tennis, but it's on like browser. There's another game. It's not Excite Bike. It's something Bike Mania on ice. That's what it is. Bike. Do you guys remember Bike Mania?
no, dude.
Bike Mania was like the motocross, like 2D platformer.
Yeah, I feel like I know what you're talking about, but
But is it Flash? I don't know.
Well,
like, is
is it-
Addicting
is-
Games and like Miniclip, are they like done for
Well, again,
for a while?
some people were porting games, right? And there are like, I don't know what you call them, archivists, people that are saving all these Flash games, and there's emulators, right, that you can use.
Well, I guess I'm wondering what can you do anything with those Flash games since they were built in Flash? I mean,
Yeah, I mean,
you guys are the techies as far as like that stuff is concerned. Is there other ways to play those games?
What do you mean? I mean, there's Flash. You can get like an
If, like,
emulator to play Flash.
If like this certain Newgrounds game was built to be played on Flash, how can you play it without having Flash now?
So, like Steve said, an emulator for Flash games. I mean, I watched a video, Vinny Vinesauce, who was playing all of these old Flash games that had been archived. I don't know exactly how he was doing it, but I mean, those are not on websites anymore. And they were old ones that like we used to play.
I feel like though you could always go, even a long time ago, I remember downloading like Flash games. You could download the what the fuck is the file, like SWF or something off of the web pages, and you could save them, hold them on a flash drive or whatever, and it wouldn't, if it had any leaderboards or anything, it wouldn't connect correctly.
But will it still? That's what I'm saying. Like even when you downloaded it, when you started the game on your desktop, was it using Flash?
It was, but now it's like, so if web browsers don't support it anymore, you have to get something like an emulator that...
The interesting thing is, are we going to see a Flash competitor come up and be like, we can play all your Flash games? Or some sort of emulator?
I'm sure there are already some...
I don't think it's that popular. Like, maybe I'm wrong, but I don't know the last time I sought out to play I guess I'm not normal, right? I know
I'm in the 1% of people who like every 6 months plays like what I think is a Flash game.
So was that on mousebreaker.com?
Mousebreaker is
play Big Head Soccer. It says you need to activate Flash to enjoy this game. So
okay, so Big Head Soccer is out, dude. That hurts me. I played that game for years. I think I played that game. I think I played that in high school. That hurts, man. Bike Mania is probably the same way. I used to play. So this is a funny story. I played Bike Mania in like I think middle school, The only way you could play it on the blocked, like, because when you go to school and they would have every single website you'd ever want to go to blocked, and there was this one website called Milk and Cookies that you could play Bike Mania on, and forever it didn't get blocked for some reason. I think it was just like far enough down in the Google results. It's too bad. It's really too bad because I bet it's gone.
Yeah, I mean, I think the only time I really played a lot of Flash games was as a kid, like in school, in high school. If you were in any computer lab class, as soon as you're done with whatever, you go and maybe it takes 30 clicks to find a website, but, it was games, so whatever. I played them a lot at home as well, and I don't know, I just have no reason to do that now. I could have money to buy other real games, pretty much. I mean,
exactly.
Not that Flash games aren't real, but they're.
I think it's nostalgia. You know what I mean? Like like I only played those games because either I was like extremely bored, I didn't want to pull out the Switch, or just like I'm trying to kill time at work. You know what I mean? Do you guys have blocked websites at work?
Yeah,
I don't. See, I'm a free reign.
Oh, yeah, no, we don't. I mean, we will peg you hard for looking at something you shouldn't.
Really?
Yeah.
Literally and physically.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of ours are like security blocked. Like sometimes I'll be looking for something work related and I click on a website and it's like this domain is ties to, somewhere, some server we don't know exactly where it's at, so you're not allowed to get there.
God, that's crazy.
We block like anything that's flagged for like religious content, and there's a website, and I don't really know why it's called.
Give me an example of a website.
Well, I don't really know why it's labeled like this, but I guess a lot of these builders have what is called a builder Bible, which has like all of their products in it that they can offer you. And yeah, like it's a weird interactive page where it's like a book. But this person was trying to hit that page and it wouldn't load, and I went into the logs and it was like, oh yeah, being blocked for religion because the Bible is in the URL.
Oh my gosh.
But I mean, yeah, if you're doing something you shouldn't be doing, it definitely alerts a few people on the team. So.
Well, that's the difference between working for like a corporation who like has a lot of employees and working for a company that has like 6 employees.
Yeah.
like I mean, are all the like social media?
We unblock
blocked?
it for certain sites because they need it for like social media presence for like their Instagram accounts. As hey, here's the job we just finished and blah blah blah. But
I don't think social media is blocked at my work, but I've never tried to go on. I think I've seen people on their Facebook on break. And stuff.
We don't block it on the guest network, but we do still monitor the traffic on there. So like there was one guy who had like 2 gigs worth of data on Snapchat and another 1.5 gigs on OnlyFans and on his phone, and so he blocked it.
What?
Oh boy. Yeah. So I think one of
you
the
didn't
big
say anything to him.
Well, so with the mobile devices that are your personal device, we don't know who it is, like because unless it says like Mason's iPhone.
Yeah.
It was even then. If it's John, how the hell am I going to know which one of you it is? So my Android shows up as like Android C NBA.
Yeah, it's something crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So at work, I would say first of all, it's not blocked because my bosses don't fucking care.
Right.
And B, because we actually have to go to Facebook sometimes to find like I'll say client to be safe, like client photos. Because for us, when we use a photo in like a TV ad, we have to make sure it's within like the correct usage rights.
Right.
So like you can't just go to Google and type in Nancy Pelosi and pull of any photo.
Right.
Like you have to make sure it is either from Facebook, like from her personal Nancy Pelosi for whatever Facebook, or like, for example, whenever we have to pull like something for the president, there's actually a White House Flickr account that everything is public domain.
Yeah.
And so we're all just like trying to find these avenues, and it's harder when we have smaller clients where it's like, I don't know if I can use this photo, and then it's like, oh, let's go to Facebook, or because technically the legal team is like, you can get away with Facebook because technically it's public.
Yeah.
And like, usually you're not going to get flagged.
Right.
But dude, this is such a tangent, but it's about the internet. So it's actually interesting. I had to do a certain ad for a certain political figure, and we had to use 2 or 3 photos that we had to pay for. And 3 photos from, I think it was AP, had cost, it was like $3,000 a photo.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
Jesus Christ.
ridiculous.
And I talked to the guy I work for, and I was like, I'm about to charge the card for like essentially 10 grand. He was like, do it. Like, this campaign is like $500,000
For four and a half photos?
for like 3 photos.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, dude, do it. Like, it's in the budget. And I was like, all right, that's a crazy amount to pay for a photo that's on screen for 4 seconds.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
crazy.
It's crazy. It's like, dude, I need to get into photography and like start taking photos of political figures because there's a ton of money there.
That's not my
Tangent
forte.
over.
Yeah, that's not my forte.
Yeah, I don't know anything
It's
about
wild.
that.
It's wild.
I mean, they paid a lot of pictures for Spider-Man, you know, like J. Jonah Jameson was always hunting for those. So.
Exactly. What else?
I mean, Steve just mentioned that weird thing about he said it as soon as I go to my Google News feed, and it's right there about the NPCs in Breath of the Wild being basically fancy Miis.
So explain it to me so that anybody listening understands.
So what's funny to me is that apparently you can import any Mii into the game and make a Zelda character out of the Mii.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's like every NPC that's not like an important character. I'm assuming they did it for ease of use. They have whatever coding for Miis, but they have it so they're like almost upscaled, more detail.
Why would you ever do this?
Well, I don't think it was I don't think they were like, let's just use Miis, but I feel like they were trying to come up with something simple to randomly generate these characters. And you got to remember, this game started development like on the Wii U.
Yeah, it was like, what, like
years
8
ago.
years ago?
Yeah, it was forever. So at the time, Miis were still like a thing they were doing.
So essentially, people found somewhere in the code of the game that you could replace NPCs with
Mii
your
face-
own
yeah,
Miis.
yeah.
This
And it's like not that difficult to do.
Well, I mean, I don't know about difficulty, but I would guess.
So Steve just showed me a photo of Matt. Is Matt the boxing one?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. 'Cause I remember it was like I saw some like a Twitter like meme, and it was like, there's nothing scarier than Matt from the boxing Wii game or something like that. That's crazy.
Yeah. I don't know what. I mean, I guess.
Is it open to regular players, or are they like quietly sourcing it from your machine just to fill?
No. I mean, I think they had skins already put into the game, right? Like, I don't think that you go into the code and there's just pictures of me in there that are being transformed into.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not like they used Miis to generate them. I think they just took what they used for Mii character data and they just added some things. So I'm Alice. It's at Hey I'm Heroic on Twitter. She says she's Mii expert, and it's just advanced versions of the Mii format. And whatever she did looking into the code found out that if you take the basic Mii data, you can inject it into like the NPC whatever files to make a new NPC or modify one. And it basically, if like there's hair that they don't use in game, it'll find one that's close to it because there's some other file in there that does that. So whatever they did, they probably did like take Miis and make them into that, but I don't think it's like.
I wonder if that was just for the devs and they were like just trying to not necessarily like fill time, but just like, we want these NPCs to look good. Let's use this for now, and maybe it's just buried in the code.
I don't think so. I mean, I think they already had the tool to make Mii, so they were like, "Well, there's going to be a bunch of NPCs in this game. Let's just use that same format to build out a better looking Mii."
Yeah,
Dude, I was cracking up because she quoted that same person, I'm Alice, tweeted her own tweet and said, "Please stop asking me to add Peter Griffin to the game."
That's funny, dude.
Yeah, I mean, she said she was gonna like put it out there to show people how it works, but she'd be doing commissions if people wanted, like, didn't want to take the time to figure it out,
Yeah,
or whatever. And so yeah, I'm sure people were like, "Fucking Peter Griffin," or
that's
ridiculous.
So funny. It's crazy.
Again, I think it was probably a time saver. I mean, like Sean said, if they had a tool for the Miis, they figured out a way to upscale it, and then, I mean, in game development, I mean, I'm not game dev, but I know from some of the like GDC talks and stuff I've seen that any simple tool you can make, go for it. And
To
Nintendo,
save yourself time.
yeah, and they've never done a game like that before, right? So I mean, like you said, so many characters, they were probably like coming up with ideas to make it easier, so they didn't have to hand create every character. And I mean, they don't look exactly the same, but the art style is such that, you know, it's not Mario where they're all these like extremely cartoony, proportioned characters. They just took the base face of the
base face
Miis and yeah.
That's cool. So before we came in here, I told you guys I wanted to bring something up that could be potentially pretty funny. How do you guys feel about, if I can figure it out, I might have to get like a stream deck. I want to get a soundboard.
Dude, I would love that.
Of like
21
sound effects. Yeah, 21. Like you stupid, or like, you know, any like list of crazy, because there's two podcasts that I watch that have things like that. YMH and Office Hours. Tim Heidecker, Vic Berger's on the show.
I did not
and
know that.
Him and DJ Doug Pound like are constantly like dueling like soundboards like in the background. Like Tim Heidecker will be talking and there's just like random sounds going on in the background. And I don't know if you can figure it out, but I want to figure out how to add a soundboard to this show.
I'm sure I could. I mean, the Stream Deck I think makes it pretty easy. Number one,
and that might be like too fancy. There has to be some way to do it on the phone or like on a Chromebook where it's like, you know, soundboard.com.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, you can upload your own sound effects.
I mean, a Stream Deck's like what $40? I don't think they're that expensive.
The big one is $150.
That's still not that bad. But
that's not that bad. Yeah, but you would have to plug that into a computer, and my computer is across the room. So if you guys had your laptop here.
Well, you still have to mic or...
Well, that's the thing. I can run a cable.
Yeah.
That's easy. We still have an extra input. So if I have to, I can run 1/4 inch to 3.5.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's a funny idea.
I
can definitely get behind that. That's
okay.
Yeah,
cool.
I'm into it.
The other thing I wanted to talk about was that the YouTube channel that I mentioned. There's a guy named YMFAH. Everything that we talk about as best we can will be linked in the show notes, given that we remember all of the things. So the video that I just watched is called "How to Make a Bow Only Build in Skyrim." Does that look familiar to you?
Yeah, I don't know that I've watched that specific one.
This one, it just came out 4 hours ago.
Oh,
but
okay.
his page.
I swear we watched one or two. I mean, we were for a while watching a lot of Skyrim gameplay.
Yeah, how to level 1 Skyrim, bow only Dark Souls 3, no
That's ridiculous.
Mage Guild, no magic, Dark Brotherhood, no killing. Some of these videos are like 45 minutes. Pacifist Skyrim.
It's cool that there are these challenge runs.
Thieves Guild, no stealing.
How do you even...
That's what I'm saying. This guy is for lack of a better term, a fucking wizard at this game, and seems to know all of the ways to get around it. And if he can't, he's like, okay, this is not possible. But
is it like that where he breaks the game? Where, you know, there's the Super Mario 64 runs where dudes like beat the game with 4 like jumps, 4 A's presses or whatever.
Yeah,
where he basically has to break the game by pushing himself into a corner where he bounces Mario up and down to get enough momentum to get over stuff. You know, is it like that where he's doing some ridiculous shit?
To my knowledge, it's not any percent. It's more along the lines of, like, in the Mage Guild one, I don't know if I'm remembering it perfectly correct, but do you remember when the first like mission in the Thieves or in the Mage Guild where you go to that tomb with the old guy with Tolfdir, and you go in and then you get trapped behind the door, and he's like, "Oh, use your magic to open this door," and there's like an amulet. Do you guys remember that in the Mage Guild? It's the first mission after he like teaches you how to use a lesser ward.
I will say that it's probably been, I don't know, at least 4 or 5 years since I've done the Mage Guild quest, because I don't love it.
Long story short, the first mission outside of the College of Winterhold, you go into these ruins with like your teacher Tolfdir, and he's like, "Oh, go check that thing," and you walk and like a gate comes up, and he's like, "Oh, go check the thing on the wall," and you have to cast. I think it's any sort of magic to break the wall, and then
Yeah.
all the gates come down. And there's like an amulet on the wall that you take as well. And so he gets stuck in there, and he's doing Mage Guild, no magic. And he's like, how the hell do I do this? And so what he ends up doing is, I think he does like a whole nother quest line to get a certain staff that makes like a fire spell, and comes all the way back and does it that way. And like, it doesn't work. And he like goes and does a whole nother thing and tries it until it works. And it's amazing. I mean, he's clearly like so good at the game. And whenever he can't figure it out, he's like referencing like the Skyrim, like Bethesda wiki.
What it takes to actually beat it.
But it's definitely worth checking out. And I will send you guys links to it.
I just
it's really good.
Feel like that's crazy. I thought when you go to join the Mages Guild, you have to perform a spell.
Well, and that's what's so cool about it, is that there's so many checks.
Yeah.
Like, I just saw it in the last video because he had to go to the College of Winterhold. For those who don't know, if you haven't played Skyrim, play it. But the first way you go in, you have to perform like some sort of spell.
I think it's random too, though. It's like
it's like perform a fear spell or conjure something. And what he figures out is if you go to the bottom of like that big pillar of like ice that the College of Winterhold is on, you can like glitch the game a little bit to ride up on a bucket to like the midden, and then you go up, and then for some reason the door's unlocked, and so you don't even have to do it.
Yes, some of that he's gonna just get. That's crazy, dude.
But it's really funny. It's really, really funny. So I absolutely recommend it.
Yeah, Steve, you were talking about the guy who breaks Mario 64.
Yeah,
and,
tell me about that.
Dude, have you not watched any of his stuff?
What is
his? I don't know how to say his name. Pannen Coke, PANNENKOEK 2012. He talks about like he'll beat the game with like press the half an A press, which is like where he pushes A down one time to beat a certain level, or he'll do it with no let go. Yeah, no A presses, or like he's one of the guys who's perfected the like jump through Bowser's door without having enough stars.
Yeah,
by doing that exact thing where Mario has this weird bug in the first iteration of the game. If he jumps backwards, he continues to build speed. So you do backwards long jump over and over and over again until you're fast enough to just break through the door. And he explains how it all works. He doesn't talk in his videos, which is kind of, you have to read quite a bit, but it's really interesting because there's things he talks about where like there are other dimensions or like parallel universes inside of Mario. If you get fast enough, you can fly to another like dimension. Essentially.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it doesn't really that part like I couldn't understand. But
I don't remember that.
Yeah, he was like, it's really weird because like the way the game is laid out, it's just like there's another one of the exact same map somewhere else over here that if you go fast enough, you can get over there.
Dude, these type of YouTubers that like they make old games fun again with stuff like that.
Yeah.
With like just like the Skyrim guy, or have you guys seen? There's a guy who does Pokemon runs for like I think the original 3, where he's like beat the game with one Ditto.
Yeah, I don't love those ones.
Yeah. I like them. He's a little much.
Yeah.
Like, but I love to see like, oh, you can actually beat the whole game with one Ditto. Like, I love those those channels where it's like they're breathing new life essentially into these old games that you've beaten a million times. So I like that. I really like those, and I'm gonna check that out.
Yeah, definitely. I love this channel, and I pretty much watched everything he's uploaded. Yeah, some of it's a little bit over my head.
What's like one that we have to watch? If there's one that you were like, this is a good one. This is the one I found first, or
the one that I found was interesting was that there are still 19 maps that require 19 stars, I should say, that still require a solid A press. So like he considers it like beating a level with no A presses means he never pressed the A button. Half an A press is where he pressed it down once and held it and continued to do the rest of the map without pressing A, or ones that still require you to press A, which is jumps, right? So like,
yeah,
I don't know how watching some of these videos, like how he figures out, oh, I can jump here or I can dive here with B, do a backflip off this, and like all this crazy stuff just to figure out how to get the star without pressing A.
Hey, dude, it's people with
ridiculous.
A ton of time.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
So yeah, 19 remaining A presses, and then
Yeah, well, I just, before you say which other video, I was just thinking that you showed me a bunch of them, and I think they're all interesting. I mean, some of them are very similar, right? But if you can get into that kind of thing, like, it's worth checking out pretty much any of them that just scroll through and click on. But Sean, the other one.
I would watch the Super Mario 64 Watch for Rolling Rocks half a press commentated. 4 years old, 3.9 million views.
Sounds great.
Very interesting video. Pretty fucking nerdy, but
I'm with it, dude. I'm so with it.
Thanks for listening. This will be new format. Hope you liked it. And now it's not just me. So Steve Skeels, Sean Skeels, Mason Carlton.
Thanks, guys. Talk to you next week.
Later. Debuff is hosted by me, Steve Skeels, edited and mixed by Mason Carlton. Follow us on Instagram at DebuffPod. That's Debuff, P-O-D. Thanks for listening. I'll see you in the next one.